Two of your favorite games merged into one? That can surely only be a good thing.
Gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most wanted video game crossovers.
Piece of cake.
For this list, we're thinking up crossovers of all kinds. Our dream matchups can feature a mixture of characters, settings, or gameplay, as long as the individual elements from each franchise mingle in some way.
See, there you go, those mixed messages again.
Number 10. Gears of War and XCOM.
Welcome to Jacinto, Private.
This one is fairly straightforward. Take XCOM's fantastic turn-based strategy and base managing gameplay and have it set in the Gears of War universe.
Humanity fought an endless battle against itself.
XCOM has some of the best strategic gameplay available, but the aliens especially are lacking in the cool department. Thus, the post-E-Day world of Sarah would transfer perfectly into the isometric 3D perspective, injecting grit and fantastic lore into the already proven formula. Strong emphasis on cover and squad mechanics, with fantastic array of aliens to kill, these franchises seem made for each other. Number 9. Mario and Shadow of the Colossus. At first thought, a crossover of these two might not make a lot of sense. Surely Mario would be better off with, say, Sonic in a platform adventure. But let's just think outside the box for a second. Take a quick look at the concept art by Jason Lupus, and all of a sudden, it doesn't seem like such a stretch. Mario is always running and jumping, so would a little climbing really hurt? Besides, Mario's been transplanted into a handful of other formulas, and he's always come out on top every time.
Oh, yeah!
And both franchises feature damsels in distress and noble steeds. Think about it. Number 8. Bayonetta and Devil May Cry.
Now that you mention it.
Two of the sexiest characters in gaming could come together, as the havoc-fueled gameplay of both titles would merge for some action sequences that would blow players' minds, not to mention the fanfiction. Both series have been created by Hideki Kamiya, so this is perhaps the crossover that makes the most sense on paper.
I believe!
Plus, the two characters have a demonic connection. Dante hunts demons, Bayonetta uses demons to defeat her enemies. A potential odd couple conflict basically writes itself.
Block off, Featherface!
Number 7. Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row.
What the f?
Two of the best open world titles with distinct approaches to how the universe works. Saints is a bit more off the wall and has already toyed with the use of different realities, so what's to stop their next destination being Los Santos?
Hey, can we go back to the part about this being a setup?
Why not a gang war between Grove Street and the 3rd Street Saints? Better yet, why not have Michael fight aliens for real this time?
Get the hell back!
With both series featuring a set of characters that roll with the punches and do anything and everything, a matchup almost seems logical.
I got things to take care of in a little place called reality.
Number 6. Final Fantasy and Zelda. Link and Zelda recently got a taste of crossover adventure in Hyrule Warriors, so why not something like Hyrule Fantasy?
This goes too far.
The concept is simple. Just take the world and characters of The Legend of Zelda and set it in the classic JRPG style of Final Fantasy. You can also bring in some of the iconic Final Fantasy themes, such as chocobos, and maybe even some of their characters as party members. This is not really a novel concept. The last time Square did something like this, we got Super Mario RPG, and that was amazing. So doesn't this seem like an even better fit?
It is not our place to question the orders of our king.
Number 5. Jak and Daxter and Ratchet & Clank.
Oh yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming.
Mascot-driven games were all the rage back in the PS1 and PS2 days, but now the world has become much more gritty, so the fuzzy faces have been edged out by realistic titles.
Now's the part where I take my frustrations out on the game!
Although they were already sorta brought together in PlayStation Move Heroes, which was terrible, they really need their own title dedicated to the foursome.
Thanks, pal.
It would be oh so easy. Both pairs have one small and one big member, the aesthetics are similar, and their humor would mesh perfectly. There are enough sci-fi elements in each game to make a crossover feasible, and lots of fans would love it. Number 4. Assassin's Creed and Mirror's Edge.
Watch a while longer and you might learn something.
A totalitarian government masked as a utopia. That's exactly what the Templars from AC want to establish, and that's coincidentally exactly what Mirror's Edge hero Faith finds herself living in. Would it be so crazy to suggest that the two worlds are related?
We can both go to hell.
Faith could use the Animus or simply shut down the Templars in her own way. And that's ignoring the obvious: parkour. These two respective franchises are essentially the kings of the free-running genre, so it wouldn't be that much of a jump for them to team up. Number 3, Half-Life and Portal.
In 3, 2...
It has already essentially been established in both sets of games that Black Mesa and Aperture Science exist in the same universe, so it almost seems likely that the most viable way for either series to continue is with a crossover title.
Our peers at Aperture Science were at work on a project of some promise.
This would finally satisfy the millions of people around the world who desperately want Half-Life 3 in some shape or form.
Keep going, friend.
Both have rich stories with plenty of gaps to fill in, and the two coming together could possibly bring some clarity to either's plot. Also, being able to swap between the portal gun and the gravity gun? Please make it so, Gabe. Number 2, Pokemon and Monster Hunter. Ever wanted to hunt down a Charizard, then hack away at it and carve some awesome armor from its carcass? Well, if the two biggest game series in Japan were to come together, the country would probably implode at the news of Pocket Monster Hunter. With this concept, you'd take the gameplay structure of Monster Hunter and head out into the world to hunt large Pokemon. And in the place of Palicos could be even smaller Pokemon, like the Kanto starters. Of course, if you're not fond of the idea of carving up a Pikachu, maybe Pokemon in the Animal Crossing world would be better for you? Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Objection!
Number 1, Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
I must be on my guard.
Since the inception of the genre, this has been the dream crossover many a fanboy has wished for. Any combination of fighting games could all easily cross over, for that matter, but it's these two that the fans would most likely want to see face off. Although I'm sure they'd be open to a Killer Instinct crossover as well. Even though these two games have very different playstyles, watching Liu Kang throw down against Ryu to see whose fireball reigns supreme is a tantalizing thought indeed. Do you agree with our picks?
Never doubted you for a second, pal.
Which video game titles do you think would make an unlikely match made in heaven? For more well-matched top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I'm out of here.
But it's not over yet.
All this preaching's putting me to sleep.